Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to Morning Tea with me, Tracy V. And today I have with me Sannie Lubin-Holder as my guest. I've known Sannie for a couple of years, and as you can see, her title is Plan for Execution. And there's a reason I put that title because Sannie is a self-proclaimed serial entrepreneur. And you may be asking yourself, what is a serial entrepreneur? It's someone who starts many businesses. They have a lot of different interests and they go after it. So planning for execution, I think, is a great title for her because she has been extremely successful at the different types of businesses that she has started. If you read her bio, you will see that she is a first generation Haitian-American, and I know she's very proud of that. And I know that is one of her driving forces for her success as well. So Sannie, welcome to Morning Tea. I am honored to have you here, and let the audience know a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for having me. Before we even get started, I just have to give the glory to God because I would not be here if it wasn't for him. And
Right.
so any opportunity I get to speak, I always have to just put that in there. But definitely, yeah, I will say that I am a serial entrepreneur. I have spent so many years. So being born in Brooklyn and raised in Brooklyn, it's just always been something on my mind to have my own business, walking around Brooklyn just in general, you're gonna run into, the little corner stores and everyone has their own thing going on. And I always thought I needed to have my own. I saw, just growing up, seeing how people were, being able to get ahead, having their own business. And so I was just like, oh, that's something I'm going to do. I'm going to school, I'm going to get a degree, and I'm going to be a business owner. So that was always a plan for me. But as you read in my bio, extroverted, introvert.
You and I both.
Had some challenges. I had some challenges over the time. As I'm growing and I'm learning and I'm getting better at it. And I'm getting better at doing just what we're doing right now. The years, I started out with many different companies. And at first, it wasn't always a success,
Right.
but at the end of the day, you have to keep one of my very first endeavors was in real estate. And I thought, okay, I can do this. Like 8 years old, straight out of high school, I thought I was just like everything. I'm going to do everything that I said I'm going to do. And I jumped up there and I got started in real estate. And it was hard because as a young person, you feel like I felt like I didn't know what the heck.
Conquer the world.
I could conquer the world, but I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't help. And so for me, it was just a matter of like, okay, get out of that. That's not for you then. And I didn't take the time to learn and do and grow at that time. I thought I could do it all. So this just wasn't for me because I got to move on.
I know exactly what you mean. I have had that same experience. I've told the story all the time, one bad incident and I'm like, this is not for me. I'm moving on.
It's so easy to do that when you feel I know what I'm doing. So if I'm not good at this, then it's not the right thing.
Right.
But at the end of the day, God only puts you in the places where he wants you to be. I just move on from there and I take the punches and I roll. And so I've started a couple of businesses, like you said. So over the last, probably about 18 years, in some form of business, one way or another, whether I wanted to or didn't want to, it was like of the hand. And so I joined network marketing companies because I felt like that was the easy way to kind of get out there, get started, do something, and then be able to build and do what I wanted. So I was able to do that. With the first company that I actually had some really good success from was a jewelry company. I love jewelry. I was a jewelry girl, like the girl who had on the 6 bracelets and the big knocking earrings or whatever. So that was always a thing for me. I love jewelry. So that was a great thing. So 100% my first advice is to definitely get into something that you love, something that you feel passionate about, something that makes you happy, because it doesn't matter what you try. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to have success, and you have to challenge yourself. You absolutely have to challenge yourself. even getting into that business, I was still that shy person, very timid, didn't want to talk to people. So it was easy because all I had to do was put the pieces up. I had this beautiful jewelry. I didn't have to do a whole lot of talking.
The jewelry sold
It sold itself. I would put a necklace on and walk out into the street, and someone would compliment me, and I'd hand them my card and invite them to host a party, and it just felt so simple, you know. But again, it was something I loved. It was something I could talk about because I enjoyed it. So definitely, as an entrepreneur, it requires you to challenge yourself, but you also have to find the things that you love. You have to find things that make you happy and keep you passionate. And so that was definitely something for me. Over the years, that company actually went out of business. And so I basically went out of business, right?
Right.
But before that happened, luckily for me, I was invited to look at another opportunity.
Okay.
At that time, I was like, no, absolutely not. I have my little jewelry business, and I'm just doing this for extra income. At the time, it was never really like supposed to be this big deal. I'm going to replace.
Right, because we want to make the point that you do have a regular 9-to-5 job.
I 100% have a regular 9-to-5 job and always have. So I've been what you call a hybrid entrepreneur. I've doing my business and doing my job.
Right.
So primarily, you try to afford a certain lifestyle. And so the business had always been kind of like to supplement, to have a little extra, to be able to do what I want, because that job money is paying the bills.
Right.
So that's where I was. And unfortunately for a lot of people, that's enough. And so they don't stretch. They don't try to go further. They don't try to build a bigger business. They don't big enough. I just want to be able to pay my car note, And so because of that, they're
right. Because not to cut you off, but most multi-level marketing companies, that's the sell. Do you want to make an extra $500 a month? Do you want to make an extra $1,000? They usually don't go beyond the $1,000 mark. Can an extra $500 a month change your life? Can an extra $1,000 a month change your life? So a lot of the people coming into it don't really see it as a business, an opportunity to actually change their entire lifestyle. They more see it as a side hustle, like you said, to supplement what they're not currently making.
And 100%, that was what I was doing. 100%. And I had success being that $500,000, maybe $2,000 a month person.
Right.
And I was fine with that because it was like, hey, I'm doing what I want to do and I'm having fun doing it, and it was fine. And then I met another opportunity, and that was in hair care, which at the time, it was like, this is cool, because hair care was becoming such a big thing for African Americans or people of color. It was our hair was actually being a topic of conversation, and it wasn't about getting it straight. Okay. It was huge. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to join this new company. And I did. And I had some great success in that company as well. And for the first time, I earned free trips. I made enough money to pay off my student loans.
Ooh.
That was a big deal. It was a very big deal for me. And that's when I started to sink in, like, this could be more than
just a supplement.
A little extra. That's when it became so real for me, because I was like, this is something serious. Like, I have money in my bank. Like, I actually, at that time, I bought my first brand new car. I had a car in all of those years that I've been working since I'm 16, Tracy. Like, I'm not even 16. I was 15 because I didn't even have the working papers to get my job.
Okay.
So all of those years, I never had a new car. And I was like, okay. So at that point, that was when I felt like I had arrived. I have a real business. I'm making money.
You're making money. You're paying off bills, and you have extra in your bank account.
It felt incredible. I had a huge team. People joined the business. It was like a much needed thing. And so it was great. It was going really well. I had gotten sick. And when I got sick, another time I realized that was what made the business important. I had an opportunity to have income while I was out sick.
Right.
I didn't have to leave my house. I was able to be home and collect my check for the business that I did months before. And my expenses. And so it was really, it worked 100%.
And that's amazing, because we've talked behind the scenes about that, because we both have some really bad illnesses. And in my case, I know how detrimental getting sick can be to your business. I have had to start over my business, or, or rebrand, or just come back harder and stronger from illnesses, because if you're a one-man show, meaning that you're running your business solo, you don't have the systems and processes in place to continue to generate income and keep your clients happy and get new clients while you're sick, then your business is at a complete stall, which means if that's your only source of income, you have no income, right? So I'm happy to hear that with your multi-level marketing company, you were able to surmise that team that continued to produce, and then you were able to continue. And I mean, a lot of people tend to put down multi-level marketing companies, and they talk about the fact that their schemes and their pyramid this, and a lot of negativity around a multi-level marketing company. And I've been in some multi-level marketing companies. As a matter of fact, I joined with you in one of your multi-level marketing companies, right? So I said, I know what it's like behind the scenes, and it's a really good way for you to get out of your shell. First of all, like you did, right? It's a way to network, and it's a way to build your business, especially if you're not at the point where you want to start your own. You want to have that systems and processes already built into the business, and you just want to actually just work the business itself. So multi-level marketing companies are great for that. And even business people, there are a lot of business people who have their own business, right, under their own LLC or S corp, who do multi-level marketing on the side, because it is another source of income, and it's a way for them to build a team and do something different, and like you said, secure themselves, because a lot of people, they're the only person in their own businesses, and if something should happen, their income stops. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Yeah, it was something at the time. That's when I really began to value that opportunity. But then there were some challenges afterwards. I had, like I said, some really amazing success. We took a trip to Cabo. I brought 5 team members along with me. And so it wasn't just about me, it was about this team that I was building. Things were just going so well, and it was so amazing. And then there was like this crash. So, I had to kind of try to pick up from there and grow a team again and do all of these things. And then that part wasn't fun. That started to not be so fun. And I was like, and so it got hard. And then I said, maybe this isn't for me. I worked it. And I still have my hair care business, but it's definitely not a primary source of income for me, not even as a supplement, something that when I get a check, I'm like, yeah, I got a check. I didn't do it. But I love, but I still had a passion for business. And so in the recent year, I found a new company. And, actually, I didn't find it. It found me. Like at the end, that's what happened. It found me. It was at the right time, and so what happened, I basically, my cousin reached out to me and he said, oh, I got involved in this company and I would love for you to take a look at it and all this stuff. And I said, no, I'm not just yet. I'm not really ready to do that. But we were going through a lot, and my father-in-law had recently passed. And when he reached out to me again, and the company is a financial services company, and I realized legacy at work, because I saw it through my father-in-law, what he left behind. And even in my own family, when people pass, it's like I've never really heard the whispers about like how we're going to pay for this, whatever. Like so. But I personally never really understood what it meant to leave a legacy. And I think that was the first time I literally saw it, like it working. And I said, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of making people free, making people, like when it's time, they don't have to think about something like that. How is it going to survive after I leave this earth? And so that had an impact on me. So when I saw this opportunity, I was like, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to do it. I had already been licensed as one of those businesses I started back in the day, life insurance. And so, and it was hard back then. It was hard. I gave up. So when we talk about execution, we talk about planning, it absolutely requires you to do the work. Okay.
Thank you.
It 100% requires you to do the work.
Yes.
It requires you to be coachable because we don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to learn from people. We have to learn from the people who are doing it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's just something you have to be comfortable doing that. And you have to be able to execute anything.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see the plan. You got to go through the steps,
Mm-hmm.
do the work. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm successful. I did it. I made it.
Yep.
You're not going to get there without doing the work. So I got involved. I got, relicensed basically right away, renewed my license and started working, started hustling, started getting and out there. And you have to put yourself out there. Like literally when it comes to these types of businesses, you have to be able to put yourself out there. And I think even over the last year, I was afraid to do that. I knew what I needed to do, and I was able to, I have clients, I have people. I've always been open to teaching people about money and finances because it is I've been passionate about. But it's just to be able to actually get to this point where I'm doing it and saying, like, anybody walking into the room, I'm going to tell you about what I do.
Right.
Because of the jewelry that I'm wearing. It's not because my hair looks cute. I don't care if you ask me what I do, I'm going to tell you. And that's the difference. I have no fear.
Right. Well, that's good. It's good to get to that place. It's a freeing place to be in because I used to have that same exact problem where like it was kind of incidental and not deliberate. So it was, oh, someone said something, told someone about me, or, just kind of incidental. I wasn't actively looking for clients. I was just getting clients by accident. And then you realize that you cannot keep operating that way.
It's not sustainable.
Exactly.
And I'm 100%. You'll see it in my bio every time. I'm all about sustainable business. It's all about what you can sustain. So if you're not opening your mouth and you're not speaking your piece and you're not telling people what it is that you do, you're not going to be successful because you have to be able to do that. And so a part of that plan is just literally just you meet, you want to tell them something about what it is you do.
Exactly.
You want to let them know, like, hey, in the future.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been able to do over the last year. And we've been talking a lot about money and finances. That's where we are. And over the years, that's why I did these businesses, because I 100% wanted to be able to make ends meet and be able to afford a certain lifestyle, be able to afford my children a certain lifestyle, and be able to have what the dream. Like, I want to be able to live that dream. And so I've always been able to do that to some degree, and people have always kind of looked to me as that person.
Right.
This was a perfect step for me to move into because it felt like natural, natural. It felt like, you come to me anyway because you want to know how I should pay down these credit cards, or you come to me anyway because you want to buy a house and you want to know what the next step is. And like I said, I was pretty savvy, even as a young person. I my first home when I was 23 years old. I paid my way through college. I had a very, a decent amount of debt from student loans, but I offered the business. And so I've kind of always had a little bit of a financial savvy. So now it just makes it tenfold when I have the products behind me. I have this education about how people should grow wealth and how to leave a legacy for their families.
Right.
And so
I know one of the big things in multi-level marketing is building a team, right? You got to bring people into the fold. I mean, it's about selling products, don't get me wrong, but you have to build a team because the team is how you get that residual income if you're sick and something happens or whatever, and you can't work the business yourself. So what are some tips and strategies that you can give about for people who are watching, because I know there are people who are watching who may be into multi-level marketing right now or thinking about getting into it, or even have your own business, because sometimes in your own business, you need to build a sales team. You need to build out some type of infrastructure to help you to keep being deliberate about those clients you're getting and not being reactive to just kind of getting clients at random. So what kind of tips would you give someone for that?
For that, I would 100% say be yourself. Ask for help. Okay.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, it's really about bringing people to a place where they want to be. So
Right.
I can't force anyone to do anything. I can invite 100 people to my business, but if they're not interested in being in business, they won't do the work.
Mhm.
And so when it comes down to it, I'm 100% honest with people about what it takes to be in business, what it takes to be in this particular business,
Mhm.
so that they can know, okay, well, can I do this? Or maybe do I want to even try? So when it
Mhm.
comes to recruiting, it's never been my strong suit. I think like for me, it's happenstance.
Right.
I'm a little bit more focused on actually building a team now because I
Mhm.
see the value of the of the residuals and how it works. Uh,
Mhm.
to
Yes,
how
yes.
growing a team actually helps not just you, but the individual. So
Mhm.
them to also grow a team. Uh,
Mhm.
so over the time, it's just a matter of how can I help more people to do that? And
Mhm.
100% being yourself is the first thing because people are really buying into you. When
Right.
they join a business, they're not, the name is great. Maybe even the system is going to help them get to where they're trying to go.
Mhm.
Joining you. And so you have to be 100% honest about who you are and let that bleed through so that they're able to, you know, get together with you and do what you got to do to get where you got to go. Like at the end of the day, that's what it is. So that's the first thing. The second thing is 100% use the system.
Mhm.
If you're not using the system, you're not duplicatable. And if they don't feel like they can do it,
Mhm.
see you doing it, they're not going to do it.
Okay.
And so for me, that's been 100% a success for me in this business because not only am I being myself and inviting people to join the opportunity, doing it wholeheartedly, I'm also doing it from a place of this is the system and I'm going to do it the way the system says. In my other business, I try to do everything outside of the system.
Yes.
Always try because I don't want to recruit. I don't like to recruit. I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to do it my way. So because of it, I didn't have the success that other people had because they were 100% using the system. They were doing it the way that people said to do it, and it was like
Mhm.
perfect for them. But I didn't feel comfortable because it wasn't my truth. It wasn't the thing that I wanted to do. It wasn't the way
Mhm.
that I wanted to do it. And so now it's just a matter of, yeah, do it. Use the system. They
Like
have
you
to
said, be coachable. You have to be
be
coachable.
coachable. You have to be. You have to be.
Mhm.
We don't know it all. We don't know it all. And
Right.
from day one, when I started in real estate or when I started you know, hair care. It's like you have to listen to the people who are doing the thing. And
Right.
I actually say that all of the time when I talk to people. You have to listen to the people who are doing the thing and
Mhm.
will do it.
Right. If somebody's making $2 million a year in the company, why would you not listen and implement
Exactly.
what they're doing?
Exactly.
Why
Exactly.
are you going to try to do it your own way?
Yep. And then the last thing I'll say is, you know what? Just try to find your own resources, right?
Mhm.
Always there's a million books out here about self-development. I've had to literally read, I want to say like 12 books probably in just like the last 8 months
Mhm.
because I always feel like I'm missing something. I'm missing something. I have to get more information. And so
Mhm.
always be looking for those resources. Talk to people and try to get more information about what it is you're doing so that you can really be 100% ready to do the job, do the work.
Mhm.
Okay? Because we show up for work 9 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday, and we don't question it. That's just what we do, and we don't
I'm glad
question it.
that you said that because that's one of the things I tell people. I don't care what business you're in, multi-level marketing business or your own personal business, you have to treat your business like a job and show up for work. Do you think I want to be here this morning? I'm not feeling well right now.
Mhm.
I am literally like, it was a struggle for me to get out of
Yeah.
bed this morning, but I committed to this. This is my job. So I get
Mhm.
up, I put on my happy face, and I get it done. You know,
Yeah.
you have to commit. I mean, you're going to take sick days, don't get me wrong, just like a regular
Of
job.
course. Of
But
course.
for the most part, you have to commit to getting the job done, just as if you were working for someone else and they were controlling your paycheck. Like I say, when people ask me, where do I work for TVA Consulting. That's my job.
Mhm.
Not only
Mhm.
am I the owner of the company, but I am the employee of the company because if I don't work, the company can't pay me.
That's right.
You have to be committed to working your business like a job. You cannot treat it like a hobby, because if you treat it like a hobby, your income is going to look
It's
like a
gonna 100%.
look like a hobby. Like, I mean, come on, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I definitely think are important to, recruiting. At the end of the day, if you want to build a big business, you have to recruit. It's a part of
And
the deal,
recruiting is
right?
talking to people. You got to,
And it's
like you
talking to
said, you have
people.
to be deliberate about telling people what you do. Closed mouths don't get fed, So if you're not opening your mouth and letting people know, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I offer, then you're not going to be able to get the customers, because they have no clue what you're doing. But they'll go next door to someone who they don't know and buy the services there because that person opened their mouth and said, hey, I sell whatever it is. I sell life insurance. So let's take that to another level. So one of the things we've talked about is the fact that so many, and you said like in your community, you never really saw it as a problem. People die. You've never heard people say, hey, how are we going to get the money to bury such and such and such? But for a lot of people, that is the reality, because there's no financial planning going on. So you want to hit on that a little bit?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, it's just watching social media, especially now, right? We're in the middle of the COVID crisis, and you're on social media, you're seeing GoFundMe's every day for, can you help out? Can you help out me to, help this family out? They just lost a loved one. This child has been left without a parent. This family has been left without their father, And so it's like a GoFundMe, but there's insurance, right? Right? Doesn't everyone have that? And so for me, because again, as a young person, I had that little bit of savvy, and I was also very conscious about being responsible as a young person. I had bought my first life insurance policy when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
I bought a $60,000 life insurance policy at 19 years old because I was helping my mom to do little things. So, buy some groceries here and now and now. And so for me, I felt like, wow, if I weren't here,
how would she survive?
My mom, how would she survive? And so that was concern for me. And at a very early age, I felt the importance of having something, leaving something for people who depended on me at that time. And so, I bought my very first life insurance policy at 19 years old, paid $9 a month, because I wanted to make sure that if I walked out and went to a party or something and something happened to me, that my mom wouldn't have to, number one, worry about how she was going to bury me.
Right.
Two, she didn't have to leave our home, because she supported or something. So that was important for me. And she did the same. She had life insurance. She made sure life insurance. And so growing up, like I said, I never really felt that, because I think for the most part, at least in my family, people kind of had that idea. But when I hear other people and I see it through social media, because maybe I never heard about it back then and it was happening, but it's like at the forefront. You're seeing people literally post on social media, oh, so-and-so passed away, please support. Can you please see? Can you please? And it's like, but what about this beautiful product that they offer? People don't know about this. Why are people, getting this? So that was a huge thing for me. And then being able to see, like I said, firsthand, what happens. It's like everything is moving and people are grieving, absolutely, but they're getting done. There is
exactly. And I told a story on here when I had a estate planning attorney on about my mom passing, and we were able to get through the grieving process because we didn't have to worry about money. We went to the funeral home, we picked out the casket, we made all the arrangements. The insurance company paid the bill and then sent the rest of the money to split it up 4 ways, because I have 3 siblings. Split it up 4 ways, and we got our money, and that was it. There was no, the repast, we paid for that out of pocket, but we didn't have to have a repast. It's the kind of tradition in the islands that you do have a repast, but we paid for that out of our pocket, and that wasn't a burden. When you're doing stuff like that, a lot of people contribute. Oh, I buy the drink, so I'll chicken or whatever it is. But the financial aspect of taking care of the final arrangements, that went like a breeze. That took like 2 days.
And that's where the stress comes from on the family. You know, and so for me, it's like when I see that and I said, okay, well, it's because people don't know about it. People, they just don't know, you know? So
Well, I found too that some people do know, but they don't see the
you see the value.
yes, they don't see the value in it. They feel like they're throwing away their money. Like, oh, well, I could use this money for something else. And they're not thinking about long term. They're not thinking about, like you said earlier, building that legacy, building that wealth. And we always want to know why we're behind the wealth curve is because we're not leaving anything. We're not preparing the next generation to have one step above one step above us. As parents, we always want better for our kids. Well, this is a way to give your kids better, even if they're adult kids. So some people think that they only do it if their kids are not children, right? But what about your adult children? So you don't want to help them to pay off a bill, pay off their student loans, pay off, get a house, or put some money aside for their kids, your grandkids. I mean, there's so many ways that you can give the next generation a leg up. And that's by just paying some life insurance. And if you get it early, like Sannie, then your payments are truly low. If you get one that's what is it called? A stable payment through, that doesn't fluctuate based on your age. I mean, you'll be paying $9 a month for
forever,
right? So why not take that? And if you pass, that's $100,000 or $200,000, whatever the amount that you take out. That money can save your family from so much heartache. It can start the grieving process and the healing process a lot sooner because they don't have that financial burden. I mean, y'all know I'm passionate about this. I could talk about it with Sannie forever. How you guys go out and get yourself some life insurance, please.
Yes. So Tracy, I just have to jump on you really quickly because you've been calling me Sannie and it's actually Sannie.
Sannie. I keep calling people the wrong names on here. I'm so sorry.
Sannie. It's okay. You know what? It happens a lot, but I figured let me just let you know.
Yeah, I keep calling you. Listen, you're not the first person. So sorry.
It's no problem. We get it. We'll get it. We'll get it together.
Yeah, but go out and get some life insurance because it is pivotal to wealth building. It's pivotal to legacy building. And if you have it, I mean, it can change your family's life for the better. So any last words you want to leave us with?
So the last words I want to leave us with, let's see. Definitely get your life insurance. Anyone out here who, is looking for an opportunity, I want to just put that out there. 100% here to help you to grow a business if something you're interested in. And, the last thing is basically go for it.
Yes.
Do something, just do it. Do it afraid, right? That's the bottom line. And over the years, it's been a lot of things that I could have done better that I was just afraid. I was afraid, and so I didn't move. So just do it afraid. Get out there, put yourself out there, and do what's on your heart, and just jump. Don't forget all the other.
Fear keep you stuck, basically.
Yeah, don't let it keep you stuck. Get out there and do some things to move your life.
Right.
You want to have an impact, you have to be impactful.
Exactly. Which is to execute. You got to create the plan and execute that plan. So if you want to get in contact with Sannie, I said it right this time. You can go to sannienaturally.com and you can find out information there. Also in the description, there is a link to a Google Doc, a survey that you can fill out for her, and then you guys can get the conversation starting that way. So it's in the description. You'll find her link to her website and also the link to that Google Doc. If you don't have life insurance, I am going to implore you again to please go out and get some. Do not leave your family in distress. Do not leave them at the point where they have to now take out a loan or start begging other people for monies to put you to rest. Take care of that stuff now while you're alive. Yes, I know talking about death is morbid, but the fact is we all have to go. Why not prepare yourself for that? And give your family a break and let them grieve and mourn the loss of you and heal after you're gone. Don't leave
Yes.
the stain, because that's all they're going to remember, the fact that you're dead, right?
Mhm.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for being my guest today. I really appreciate you being here, and you have to come back some other time and we can talk more about, preparing for wealth and legacy
Yes.
in the
I would
community.
absolutely love that. Thank you so much again, Tracy, for reaching out and inviting me. I've had a great time. And again, it's just another opportunity to do something that a little uncomfortable. I don't really love the camera, but
Yeah.
but I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be able to share some information with you and your guests and your fans. I love that. I love it.
All right. Have a great day, everyone. And thank you for
You
joining
too.
me for Morning Tea. And I'll see you again
Yes.
tomorrow for another episode of Morning Tea. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.